Welcome in, Pirate fans, to the Coach Rob Woodward Show. Coach, again, congratulations on your win against Memphis. And I thought maybe this week we'd take a little bit of break and maybe just pick your brain on some random fan questions that we've had over the years here. And some of them are kind of strange, but most of them are kind of normal, I guess you could say.
Right. I never know what to expect when you get fans.
That's true. This one's the first one. We'll start off easy. This one comes from Matt Miller, and there's 4 Matt Millers in Wheelersburg, so we're not really sure exactly which Matt Miller this is. But if you could coach another sport besides football, which sport would you feel most comfortable coaching?
Wow. Well, the only other sport that I have coached here at Wheelersburg was track. I was the junior high track coach for 2 years, and then the varsity track coach for a year. And I had never coached track or even ran track in my life. But I was able to learn a lot from Gary Johnson. He shared with me some things to focus on. And I really enjoyed the focusing on kids, trying to set personal records, which, whether it be endurance and distance events or long jump events or sprinting events or whatever it may be. I kind of enjoyed those things. I did play basketball and baseball throughout my high school career and looked at possibly going to Ohio Wesleyan baseball. I was a catcher at that time. But in terms of being able to coach either one of those sports, I wouldn't say that I am knowledgeable enough in either one to be a great coach in those areas. And I'm not here to say I was a great track coach either, but I do like to try to get kids to do the personal best. So I guess if you ask me, it'd be track.
All right. Well, this next one's from Alberta Searles, and it's kind of, I got to do a lead-in question on this because it kind of puts you in the right frame of mind. But she said if there was a zombie apocalypse going on and they shut down all the restaurants, and they said you had one chance to go to your favorite restaurant. No expense. You had all the money you needed for it, and the government was going to pay for it. One chance, one restaurant. Where do you go?
Are we talking in Wheelersburg, or are we talking
anywhere in the United States?
Well, I tell you what, I would probably have to go to where, in my mind, I've had the best steak ever, and that would be the River in Portsmouth. My dad and I have traveled all over the country showing cattle. And I've been in lots of states. My dad has been farther than I have in a lot of those, but I've never had a better steak in terms of how it's prepared and the quality of the meat. And my dad says the same thing. And boy, I could take some dinner rolls served with that and soak up that juice for days on end. And if I had a final place to get a meal, I'd be getting a large steak there at the River, and a whole bag of those dinner rolls.
Those steaks large. Those 2-man steaks right there.
Absolutely.
All right, this next one's another lead-in question, and it's a strange one, man, but we're just going to go with it. It said in 1956, John Wayne petitioned the Academy of English Language demanding that the word cowboy be changed to cowmen because it sounded too feminine. Do you believe that? Was that something you think that John Wayne could have done?
John Wayne, the Duke, could do just about anything he wanted to do, whether it was on the television screen or in the general public. Matter of fact, as we look at our country today, we need a few more John Waynes to be able to step up and act respectable and grab some people by the hind end or by the tail and kind of direct them in the way they need to go. But one of my favorite movies of all time, you want to go sit down and watch it, one that'll kind of pull at your heartstrings and raise the hair on your arms a little bit. It is a John Wayne movie called Cowboys, and it's about a bunch of young men that their job was to take a herd and take over for kind of taking the reins as a young man and doing that and battling against some cattle rustlers and some individuals. And they were just boys at that time, but what it did was it challenged them and taught them to be men. And I don't think that the term needs anything adjusted to it. Matter of fact, anybody that thinks that needs to go rent that movie, Cowboys, and go put it in and watch it, and I think it'll steer them right.
Yeah, I don't know how accurate that statement is. I don't think that John Wayne ever did that, but it had to be said. Cow men just don't sound right.
Yeah, no.
So you do have a background in farming and raising cattle. Take us back to that experience as a kid growing up in that type of environment. How do you think that helped you grow up to be the person you are today?
Well, it taught me from day one. My favorite 4-letter word that I talk to these guys about all the time, and that's work. I tell them all the time, no matter what you do, and I got a great quote that I've read to them a number of times. If you're tired, go work. If you're poor, go work. If you're rich, go work. If you're feeling bad, not having a good day, go work. If things seem to not be, going right, and you just don't know what to do with yourself, go work. No matter what you do, work, I think, is the remedy for a lot of things, because we always say idleness is the devil's playground. So, if you can get out and work, and thankfully I learned that at a very young age. I was not one that slept much past 7:30 in the morning, whether it was December 22nd, and the time it wasn't quite daylight outside at 7:30, or if it's the middle of June and the sun's up at 5 a.m. I was always up and out, heading the direction to do something. I didn't spend much time on the couch. I was always going out to help Dad or handle chores that I had or different things. We raised tobacco when I was growing up. I miss a lot of the things that it required of you. And I tell these players all the time, one of the things that you got to remember was there was no heat index. If you had to go get a job done, whether that be in the hayfield or the tobacco field, there was no, hey, it's going to rain today, or there was no, it's too hot, too wet, too cold, too dry, too nothing. You had to get the job done. And there's so many people out there that do work in the elements and work outside and have to work through things. We're not able to make excuses for why we can't get ourselves to work or get the job done, because it's just something that has to be done. And I learned that at a very young age, and that's what I apply to football with these guys all the time. I tell them all the time, no matter what, if you work hard, good things are going to happen.
I heard the last time I cut tobacco was 10 cents a stick, or 12 cents a stick.
Well, the last time was in 2004 when I first moved here to Wheelersburg. I went over, across the river into Kentucky, and went down a little road called White Oak Road over in Greenup. And there was a farm that I was clipping a steer for a young lady that was taking it to the Greenup County Fair. And on my way over there, I noticed the tobacco field. There was a young man down there cutting tobacco. And I thought, man, if I come back, I didn't have kids at the time, and my wife was back home with her parents doing something that weekend. I thought, if I come back by here and they're still cutting, I'll have to stop in there and do that. And I did just that. I come back by. It was about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I asked the young man, hey, could you use some help? And he said, I don't know, go ask that man up there on the porch. So I went up on the front porch, and I asked the old man there, I said, I'd like to cut some tobacco for you if you could use the help. And he said, right there's a cutter and a spud. He said, 16 cents a stick. He said, and boy, I'll count your sticks. I said, yes, sir. So I went down, and for about 3 hours the rest of that afternoon, I cut 186 sticks of tobacco, and that's the last time that I've ever swung a hatchet and a spud and got a chance to do that. But I think about it all the time, and I remember all the times that we had. When I grew up, it was always older boys that either played at the high school football team or this and that my dad had to the house. My grandma always picked dinner for us. We always had lunch at 11 o'clock. We always watched The Price is Right and enjoyed a lunch, a meal that my grandmother cooked, and went right back out and got to work. But yeah, that was the last time that I cut tobacco. Was about 2004, and I can remember it on Little White Oak Road over there in Greenup.
Yeah, my dad used to make me do that stuff. I didn't like him very much, but he made me do it. But it is tough work, man. It's not easy at all.
That it is.
Well, Coach, we'll let you go. I appreciate you taking a little time out and having some fun with us. But I would like to mention a little something about the football game Friday night. Give me one guy that you thought maybe wasn't seen that you kind of graded out really nicely during the Memphis football game.
I'll mention a player that I recognize. All of our coaches grade each and every one of their players, and so I'm always looking at who graded the highest, who graded not so well, and the players listen to all those kinds of things, and they pay attention to that. But I'll mention two guys here. One that I'll mention is a junior for us, Alex George. Alex is one that I've kind of moved back and forth from the JV unit at times to the varsity unit because I've been trying to make sure that Alex is controlling his emotions and keeping himself at a level that he needs to be. Alex is extremely aggressive at times, but trying to work on the focus that he needs to bring to the game in regards to his position. But on the limited snaps that he got in on offense and defense, he was able to grade out a good positive score. And when you see that, you've had a guy that's been on the sidelines sometimes, and then his opportunities have been limited. It's good to see him coming back and doing what he needs to do. Another one that I'll mention is Stidham, Chase Stidham.
Tarzan, right?
Tarzan. Absolutely.
He goes to my church. That's what he said.
Yeah, I've been calling him Tarzan a little bit because he is such a rangy, athletic individual. But he has been focusing in on what Coach Eaton's been talking about on the kickoff team, and has done a good job with that. And I recognize that his score was a +4 this week on special teams, and that's good to see. Coach Eaton does a great job of evaluating each and every one of those positions, and we talk as a staff to make sure that we've got the guys out there that being productive in their positions. And Chase has done a nice job. Number 9, if anybody's looking, Alex George, number 52, and Stidham, number 9, are some individuals to watch.
Well, Coach, appreciate your time, and we will talk back at you Monday after this Friday night game.
Sounds good. Thanks.
All right, thanks.